While many people do indeed argue that Britain is less of a racist country than others, the reality, according to experts on the ground like Lee Jasper, is a far cry from the image some would like Britain to have.
In the United Kingdom, we have more inter-ethnic, inter-religious cohabitations and marriages than any other place in the world. But when you look at the scale of institutionalized racism and systemic disadvantage, then we compare with America or some other countries around the world where racism and its institutional character is much more profound.
We have a big feeling of entitlement in Britain as it is as a culture. So to say that Britain is the least racist country in the world, I believe that's another cover-up story that they always tend to try to put on this country and even around Europe, around racism, to try and cover up the reality that you still are very racist in your views towards people of other cultures.
While many are quick to point the finger at street racism, many more are making the connection between institutional and structural racism and power as the real issue.
In fact, what we've seen on average is two immigration bills being introduced every single year since 2020. And so we're just ratcheting up, making it more difficult, making it more hostile, immigration legislation, to the extent now where, we're deporting black British citizens to countries that they've never ever been to and have no association with.
To talk about immigrants in such a way, to talk about people, human beings that need help, and come here, a country you keep promoting to the world, because I've been around the world, I've lived in other countries, and I've heard their perception of Britain. They look at Britain as a haven, as almost like a safe place from the problems that exist in the world that are killing people. So when they come here, they see the farce.
For many communities, and especially young black people, the police remain one of the main reasons as to why Britain is not the anti-racist utopia that many try to frame Britain's image around.
They've come to understand very quickly that they're third-class citizens living in a supposed first-class democracy. And that, as we've seen just this week, with the announcement that 9 out of 10 young people in youth offenders establishments in the United Kingdom are BME offenders. 61% of them are black, the rest are made up of Muslim and other ethnic minorities. I mean, that is a catastrophic figure.
They haven't helped. They've made the problem worse. When you put more police on streets searching more black young people, you've got to understand causality. Action, reaction, action, reaction. It's going to keep going on and on until people go to war.
While many would argue progress has been made, the reality of racism in Britain for those experiencing it, the number of racist attacks shown by police's own figures, and the systemic disparities in housing, healthcare and employment and so on paints a very different picture indeed.